getting in the pool with him.
Yes,
he could drown here, Vince. He calls a $250,000. He is heading for trouble, no doubt about it, unless he gets very lucky here.
Here comes the turn.
Well, a 9 comes off on the turn. Now, this gives Gavin a gut shot straight draw, as well as his pair of 7s, and he checks.
Kito's got to be thinking, how's that really going to help him?
Kito still has the overpair. Just can't imagine you would check 2 kings in this spot, but you always want to be leery of traps being set by your opponents.
You got a massive overpair. You can't be too scared out here.
500.
Ooh, we're betting $500,000.
Very nice bet by Kito Pham right here. Not going to give his opponent a chance to catch a free card to beat him. Going to make him pay. And Gavin down there on the turn anyway.
Another nice pot picked up there by Kito Pham.
Right now, Gavin saying to himself, geez, why didn't I lay it down the flop? We still have 4 players left. All have well over $1 million. It's anybody's game from here. And right now, the blinds and antes are going up. We're now playing with a $3,000 ante. Blinds are $15,000 and $30,000.
And of course, the blinds and antes have to go up. Otherwise, players would be waiting for the perfect hands, and we would be playing for months. So that is the reason why.
Well, action's going to be on Chris Bell here.
Chris this time looks down at a king-9 of diamonds. Pretty good starting hand.
And he lays it down. I'm a little surprised at that.
Gavin with queen-3 also laying it down.
Round to Kito Pham in the small blind. He's going to call with 9-5 offsuit.
And Ted Forrest, who so far has played tighter than the middle seat and coach, with a pair of 4s, just says, I'll call.
Yeah, just checks. Does not raise it with 2 4s. Here comes the flop. Ooh, flop is 5-4 deuce with 2 spades. Kito has flopped top pair, but Ted has flopped 3 of a kind.
That's tremendous. Kito checks his top pair. And here goes Ted.
70.
Well, as we said before, the consensus of top players is to bet 3 of a kind when you flop them. Ted Forrest doing that right here. He is going to perhaps trap Kito. Now, Kito has top pair here. Probably thinks the 2 5s are the best hand right now.
Meantime, look at Ted Forrest. Looks a little like a hitman this evening.
Well, your opponent didn't raise before the flop. You're not going to put him on an overpair here. Tough not to play 2 5s here, I think.
Raise it.
And he's not only going to play him, Vince, he's going to raise him.
Oh, boy.
He's headed down a road full of spikes on bad tires.
150.
Raise it 150,000 here.
Ted Forrest loving those words. There's always that outside chance. The guy was in the small blind. You're both messing around with blinds. Maybe flopped a straight or something, but you got a set here. And he's going to make the call, of course.
Well, some people would raise it back with a potential straight and potential flush out there. Ted Forrest opting to call, hoping Kito continues to lead at this pot.
Here comes the turn card.
Ooh, the king of spade comes off.
It's kind of a scare card. Now there's 3 to the flush.
Well, that's a card neither player is probably going to like. Well, with that spade coming up, you automatically fear your opponent might have 2 spades in the hole and has made a flush.
But it's not going to slow down Corn Dog. It looks like he's getting chips out there.
You're going to represent the flush.
I check.
Nope, he checks.
Yeah. Ted Forrest thinking, what's going on tonight? Is this guy trying to trap me?
Well, Vince, if you've got 3 4s here, you know, it's the kind of hand you can't check either because you can't give your opponent a free draw at a straight or a flush that would beat you. You just can't take a chance on another spade coming out there, or an ace or a 3 or some kind of straight card coming out there.
300.
And he is going to bet here 300,000.
I'm all in.
But right over the top, Kito says all in.
Without hesitating, he goes all in. And look at Ted Forrest. He says, what have I done? Does this guy really have a flush? Does he have a straight? Did he flop 3 5s? It's going to cost Ted all his chips to call, which is about $1 million. He's got a little over $1 million left. There's about $2.1 million in the pot. So Ted Forrest getting over 2-to-1 odds on his money. But Vince, his tournament life is on the line. If his opponent had a flush and he lost this hand, he would be out of this tournament.
Well, you got a set, though. Even if you think this guy has a flush, for Pete's sake, you got a set. You got a lot of outdraws.
Well,
You know the reputation that Corn Dog has. He could almost raise with anything. This time he practically is. Pair of fives only.
but believe me, if you're sitting there, you assume your opponent's got a flush when he comes over the top, moves all in right now. Do you want to gamble here?
His daughter, Kristen, in the audience. He would love to make her proud. Keto is walking around the table, monkeying around here a little bit, pretending like he's feeling very happy right now. We know he's not.
But Ted, watching every move he's making, will he read Keto correctly here?
Guess it's time to try to get lucky.
Well, Ted says it's time to try to get lucky.
Good call,
Here he
Ted.
goes. Well, he thinks Keto has the flush,
Good call.
apparently. He's going to be joyous to see
call.
Keto
You got
Fam is drawing completely dead.
Gosh. You got it. You got it.
Hitman Ted Forrest taking down a monster pot.
Nice call, Ted.
It's a hell of a play. I mean,
And with that
much- how
pot,
much
he
more?
vaults into the lead.
What an exciting event this is. Kicking off the 4th season on the World Poker Tour. We're coming. Welcome back to the World Poker Tour. Watch the Mirage Poker Showdown. I'm Vince Van Patten with Mike Sexton, where 4 players still remain.
But Vince, we just saw Ted Forrest chop down Keto Fam right there. He is now the chip leader. Keto picking the wrong time to make a move.
Keto badly deflated after that. Takes a look at his cards. It's on him right now. He looks down at ace-5.
He only has 190,000 left. Be very surprised if he just doesn't move all in right here. Pick up an ace high on a 4-handed game on a very short stack. You got to go with it, don't you?
I'm all in.
And there he is. He's going all in with it.
Choose my blind all the time.
Right behind him, Ted Forrest.
I call.
The hitman with ace-9 of spades quickly calls.
Well, Ted just crippled him. He's going to try to take his feet out from under him now.
Ain't going anywhere.
I didn't cripple you.
Around to Chris Bell, and look at this. He's got the Gretzky hand, number
I
99.
pumped you up.
He's got 15,000 in the
How
pot.
much you got there? Wow.
It
This
cost
is
him
100 right here.
187,000 in total to call here.
And this much. This is 100.
Very interesting. Could be a three-way battle. Keto all in here. Chris Bell with a pair of 9s in a 4-handed game. A strong hand starter.
He was all in for 187,000. Ted Dalton on Chris.
187.
186.
He is making the call here. I don't blame him for calling with the 2 9s, though, Vince. I'd want to see a flop, too.
You're right.
See if we can offer.
Nothing fancy. Not going to bump it.
Gavin's going to look down at Jack 6 of hearts here. Gavin gets out of the way. Even though Keto's all in here, Chris and Ted could continue betting on the side if they so desire.
Keto Fam, not a good place. Ace-5 versus ace-9 and a pair of 9s.
Here comes the flop. Flop is King 8-4 with 2 spades. Chris checks the 2 9s.
Well, that's interesting. Gives Ted Forrest a 4 flush.
Ted is reaching for chips. Now, he has a drawing hand, Vince, but I'm not crazy about this play. He's betting into what we call a dry side pot. Normally in this spot, you don't want to knock out the third party unless you've got a made hand.
And look at this. Chris turning up his cards.
Well, Chris understands that he can't make this bet unless he has a hand, so to speak.
Got Pat.
2 red 9s and throws it away. We're down to 2 close.
Oh,
You saw Chris Bell wince there. He's surprised that Ted would bet there
5-5.
without a king in his
Not a
hand.
5
it's a
of spades.
dagger in his back.
Poor Keto can't even catch the 5 of spade now to win this pot. He's got to catch one of 2 other 5s or 2 running low cards to make a straight.
What the hell? You want to race for all you
The
want?
hitman standing up, Ted Forrest, likes his position, and why shouldn't he? Keto Fam on the ropes here, on the respirator. He needs some luck right now to turn this around. Here comes the turn.
Oh, a 9
9.
comes off. Chris Bell, don't come back and take a look at this card.
Remove all sharp objects, Chris. He would have hit a set right there.
Being drawing dead.
Not that. 5. Oh, 9.
There's the river. It's a 4. It's not going to do it for Keto.
Go ahead, Pat.
He is out in 4th place.
Ted Forrest is going to win this pot, making what I thought was a bad bet on the flop. Is going to work out great for Ted Forrest right there.
But right now, Keto Fam, Corn Dog, has been eaten alive. He is our 4th place finisher. We are down to 3. But Mike, you're right. Ted Forrest betting in the dry pot. Why don't you explain to the audience exactly what that was?
Well, a dry pot is a side pot that doesn't have any money in it.
let's play
You're
some more
better
pots.
off to keep Chris Bell alive in this situation in terms of tournament strategy, because if one of you eliminate Keto Fam on this hand, you move up over $100,000 in real money. In my view, it was a tactical tournament error on Ted Forrest's part. Ted didn't see the forest for the trees right there.
Keto, you've been playing very aggressively. Do you think this caused the other guys to gang up on you?
I see that. I'm not happy with the way I'm playing today, but I'm playing to win, and I will live and die with the way I play.
What do you think went wrong down there?
I played too many hands. I should have more patience, and that's it. I don't have patience today.
Ted Forrest now extending his lead. He's the man right now, and we're down to 3.
Ted is a Las Vegas professional player. He's one of the best in the business, and it's always fun to watch Ted play poker.
I sold swimming pools for a summer, and I worked as a hotel maid for a summer. I was kind of just lucky to fall into poker, you know, something that I was good at and really enjoy doing.
Since you called it, I have to show it. Yeah, I want to call it.
I enjoy the mental combat of it, you know, just kind of getting into people's heads.
Ted Forrest is you know, one of the best players in the world. You know, he's made the final table before. He knows what to expect.
Cash card, let's see what it is.
Whoa! Ted Forrest has dodged all those bullets.
Ted Forrest is an exceptional player. He's pretty much impossible to put on the hand, doesn't give up too much information. You know, he's probably the best of the bunch at the table.
I always try to change my game as far as adapting to the new players, and you do see a lot of new faces these days, so it gives you something more to think about.
Folks, it is not easy. Nobody said it was, and nobody knows it better than these 3 guys sitting down here tonight.
Back to the table on Chris Bell. Looks down at an 8-3 of hearts. Chucks it away. Gavin Smith. Oh, he's got a nice starting hand. King, queen of clubs, but he's going to play it slow. Just calls it.
He's trying to camouflage the strength of his hand here. He just limps in with the king, queen of clubs, and Ted with the 8-7 of spades says, give us a flop.
Oh, man. Gavin Smith hitting 3 of a kind on that flop.
Incredibly, he leads out and bets $50,000. One more time you see these pros leading out when they flop 3 of a kind. They're not checking.
Getting Ted to bite here with absolutely nothing.
He feels if Gavin had an ace or a king, he would have raised before the flop.
He's been trapped. Here comes the turn card. When he gets a piece of it.
An 8 comes off. Now Ted has made a pair of 8s here.
Potential train wreck for Ted Forrest. He's got kings and 8s, and we know Gavin, of course, has the 3 of a kind. Gavin not slowing down.
Well, Gavin's figuring, hey, the guy called me on the flop. Maybe he'll call me again on the turn. Gavin betting $120,000 this time. Ted called on the flop with intentions to bluff this pot later on. Now he's made a hand here, so he's just going to call.
He is deep in the spider hole right now.
Drawing dead, as we say. No card he can catch to win the pot with.
Here comes the river.
Well, a 7 comes off.
500.
Gavin's betting $500,000 now. And you see the anguish on Ted's face. He says, whoa, have I misread this? Did this guy really have an ace or a king? If he flopped 3 kings, would he really lead out and bet on the flop? Wouldn't he check to me and let me bluff at it? Could take a big hit right here, Vince, if he's going to continue to go with his instincts in this hand.
Nice bluff.
And there he goes.
Well, Ted makes the great laydown right there. Finally convinced that Gavin had him beat. And just a great decision to get away from that hand and not put another $500,000 in there.
But just a tremendous credit there for Gavin Smith. Just so well played. You know, it was so obvious. It was tricky.
There's more action to come from the Mirage. Stay tuned.
3 players, and the winner is going to get $1,128,000. Not bad.
Yep, we started with 317 players. We are down to 3. All professional players left. Vince, we're getting some good insight tonight of the thought process of professionals when they're playing poker. You know, most people on the amateur level just look at their 2 down cards and that's all they worry about. Level 2 is when you start thinking about what your opponent's cards are. Level 3, you start thinking about what you think they think that your cards are.
Oh, just shut up. Okay, let's get back to the table. Ted Forrest quickly folding. Chris Bell with Queen Jack. Just going to make a call. And Gavin now with Jack 3.
He says, give us a flop. Well, flop is King 10-7 with 2 spades.
Gives an open-ended straight draw there for Chris Bell.
He's got the King, Queen, Jack 10, and he bets it. Bets $60,000.
Gets a quick call by Gavin. It's 60,000.
Well, for the second hand in a row, we've seen a guy call with no hand and no draw, obviously with the intent to take the pot away later. An 8 comes off.
Chris checks. But surprise, surprise, Gavin Smith getting some chips ready.
And this is why he called on the flop, to make a bet on the turn to try to take the pot away.